Will fall to his forward triangulation because that's where I will take him. Okay. Again, please pair up. Be nice because they get a chance to do it back.
The first one I aimed more.
You don't need to go big stuff.
I just kind of noticed it kind of feels like a shoot.
We're trying to do this. That's the same thing that we were just doing. All you're doing is that.
I mean, with
You want to get this to twist.
at that point
From here, keep his hand.
I go and buy you.
Sets.
I go pushing the box.
like being pulled. Try it. I'll try this one. The other
I just want to get to here.
It's not.
That's all I'm trying to. I'm trying to find the best way to get on this.
Yeah. Get more up. I want her. Yeah. He did.
Just warrior this guy. Oh, crap.
I'm so consumed with this.
He just did something. Nico's good.
No, I'm fine.
Either way, I'll pull on that.
Pulling back.
Everyone watch, please. Thanks for demonstrating. I want to see you guys to see all this stuff because you'll see your players do this and a whole bunch of other things as well. Please do what you did. Slow motion. Okay. Notice he did two things that I will have to change. One is he stepped too wide. One of the reasons why you guys will do it yourself, your players, they're used to fighting of the man's strength. And so, of course, you want to get around him. He's worried about, we're freezing his feet. He cannot move his feet. Please, here. Move your feet backwards. See? You really can't do it. If I go even harder, you really can't do it, okay? Point, though, the second point, again, please, is that, okay, now he's generated forces up, but there's still no reason for this guy's name, Jeff's name, Jeff to go, sternum to go forward, because there's no back pressure. There you go. Now you don't drop the elbow, but that's the idea. You've got to have a back movement. Now, one of the ways you might teach this is, you guys are starting to do that right now, if I can borrow whatever, is this. Just have the guys take a towel and do this. That's the movement. It's that relaxed too. Can I borrow you, please? That movement, and it should be that continuous. You do not want to stop. It's a quick movement, and particularly if you guys are concerned about, what about the other hand coming through? If this guy's doing this, his other hand isn't coming through. He'll be lucky to touch you. And by the way, if he tries to hit you hard in mid-stroke here, that's when things start to snap. Because his body's moving this way, and he can no longer account for that torque at the joint. Okay? Again, please. Again, slow. No reason to do this fast. Full motion. Yes, sir.
I think we did that good. When we switched over, we went out pretty wide. Right.
Try it again.
Up and back now.
If I keep it there and I grab claw and keep going, either my elbow's gonna, I'm gonna separate the elbow joint or my elbow's gonna, I mean, guaranteed. I've seen some stubborn guys. Yeah, that's true.
Get closer to the body. I'll go left.
Keep your hand close and take off your hat. No. Do this and take your hat off.
Yeah, that's it.
Boom, boom, take your hat off. No, with this hand.
Oh, hey.
Take off your hat. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. That's yeah. So back here. Take off your hat. Yeah, close enough to take off your hat. Close enough to take off your hat. But that's how because otherwise I don't.
Good teaching here. Put on my hat.
Well, teaching wise, the kid's got to hear something that he's gonna. Oh, I got to take off my hat.
Put that on.
$20. Doesn't work, does it? I like this one.
All right. I've got a few questions, please, and then we're going to refine this even more. Come a little closer, please. Ask your question, sir. Okay, great question about the eyes. I would say that you can put your eyes wherever you would like to. Because I'm no longer exerting muscular strength. And this is also one of the advantages, by the way, of being relaxed, and one of the advantages of the contact. You're getting kinesthetic feedback as to where he is. I know where he is. I don't have to look at this hand. And that's also a guy, he asked a question about, can you do it this way? Absolutely you can. One of the problems is you might hurt your thumb. Okay, but another is all of a sudden you have to be precise about the aim. When you just put your arm up, my eyes are closed now. Okay, it naturally, because of the way the bone is structured, by putting my arm out here, I naturally catch the hook of the bone. I don't have to look for it because it's just there. If I roll my arm under his arm, right there is the medial epicondyle. If I then spin my arm, which is now attached to his arm has to spin. And when you're getting this spinning motion, this torque, this is what torque is. Those who don't know, the torsional stress on the joint, it translates into his body. And that's what you want, that translation of a little effort on your part translating into big effort on him. Grab my finger, please. Thank you. Thanks. Grab this, yeah. Tight. Okay. I do small movements, and I can control him. Small, okay? Because one of our principles, again, is small pieces control big pieces. Small movements control big movements. Perfect example of this is a door. The door is just a piece of wood in a hole, okay? What makes it function as a door are the hinges. They're small. Those hinges don't work. The door isn't a functionable door. Okay, so what we're doing, and when all this stuff is, we're becoming a little bit of a hinge, and we're having small movements, and we're having his body do a big movement. Gentleman over here asked me, well, what if you got like this, and I'm starting to put this? Yeah, you might be able to get your foot there, but your shoulder will take it because you got these little tiny ligaments, tendons, and they won't stand that structural stress. Any other questions?
Have you done this with shoulder pads on?
I have, yes, and I have had people do it with shoulder pads.
I mean, it's the same, you don't have any, because a lot of times they're restricted to arm movements. Is that?
Well, I would have your players have them not be that restricted so that they can at least do this. If they can't lift their arm up, then it would probably affect it.
Right.
If it's another player who's got restricted arm movements, then you're benefiting because they've got to make an adjustment quicker because they have less flexibility in their bodies. Another thing I would talk about is in the armor of if you've ever seen the bamboo armor and the rice mat armor that the samurai used to use, it was similar in padding because the bodies are the same. You have to allow for the ability to raise the shoulder. So, and there also has to be a space here. Now, I will comment on this. People that saw Dave Aranda today, and he talked about the one arm. He was referring, I was going to show him that one arm thing. The difference is that he teaches it different than I do, and I like my version better, of course, but instead of attacking here, okay, which works fine, I attack right here, okay? Sorry about that. I'm right here. All I have to see, if you put your hand here, let me get another big guy, please. Stand over here. Okay, now I'm going to do the typical thing that you see when you see attacks to the throat, like this. Grab with my hand. Okay, push against me, both guys. Push hard. Okay. Push. Okay, it's just so weak there. Now, if you're worried about hurting your players, as long as they don't come this way and crush the trachea, okay, you won't hurt them. And I like the way that this is doing it here. See, you can see my hand, okay? Tell me when you can't see it. You see it now? You can't see it now. You can't see it now. You can't see it now. So as I get in there and we're in close contact, now if I'm worried about getting called for that, I may just hit him here quickly and then go into a swim. Particularly if you've got a particularly strong guy. May I borrow you, please? And this guy's, when he puts his arms straight out, he's going to be a bear to maybe get over, okay? In fact, I'm not going to do it. But if I come here first, then he might be a little easier, okay? What it does is it takes his attention away from this, okay? And I don't care how big you are, 3 times his size, you don't have muscles there. Or there are no muscles of any consequence, okay? So you go into the front. So if you are in trouble and you get your guys in trouble, okay, now I'm going to let you try this. But I want you guys to start so slow. Again, may I borrow you? In fact, I'm going to let you do it to me. Okay? Here. So I'm going to start here. And all you're going to do is rotate on this axis. Okay? And just extend your arm. Okay? I want it to go like that. You guys are nervous about it. Put your hand here, protect. So that if he starts going too hard, you tell him no and you push, clamp down. That would be a counter, by the way, to this. But since the guy's arms are like this, he can't counter you. He's too late. Okay, extend. See. Now, what Dave did explain really well today was he talked about the rotation here. What you want to do, can I borrow you, please? Are you going to ask a question? Oh, okay. Is that the 2 arms, see, if I have my arms are this long relative to his, if I stay square, if I rotate, see how much longer that is? Okay, so if I'm in trouble here, he's just too strong for me or something. Okay, your turn. Gotta let these people do it back at me. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's ugly. Okay, that's why I'm asking you to go slow. Okay. See now what he's starting to do though. Go ahead. Do it to me. What did he just do? Did you see his shoulder did not move position? Except to go upwards, that means the forces you generated weren't going into me. Now, generate them into me. Now, rotate your body at the same time. Big difference. All of a sudden, you change the difference in your ability from here to that. Okay? And for something like this, if you want to do it how David Aranda was suggesting, like this, or like here, okay? And then if you want to practice this a little more and you want to be able to fully extend, just go to the side. Okay? Try it with someone you don't like. Be respectful, please. You don't like me.
I got an idea.
Rotate this way.
Just tell them to flip off their hand this way.
Block that
And
up.
it makes sense for the hand to go back to the head.
And the elbow coming back too. That's good. Thanks. Please feel free to do that. Rotate on.
I think that's myself and choke.
I'm blocking it.
Now, if you could get a high school kid to be able to hit it right there, or a JC kid to hit it right
This
there.
without doing anything else, picking up a foot probably. Here, the guy's giving you trouble.
We're having fun talking about this.
If you go like this, it's hard. I wonder, going like one arm, if you go one arm here, you twist your body. Because I know. Well, it's like if you think about defensive linemen.
Rotate the body before All right. How are we doing time-wise? Tell me.
You have 20 minutes left.
Okay. Go about another 10 or 15. Questions, please. I know you guys have thousands of questions to ask
Has
me.
anybody ever been hurt? Like,
Not that I know of. I just don't know. I haven't shown that to many people, but since Dave Aranda brought it up earlier, and
The only thing on that move, you know, liability reasons, if you hurt the kid like that,
That's what I'm saying. That's
okay,
what I'm
I
saying.
mean that's always, but that's always
this
a,
other stuff you're doing is fine. Stuff
Okay.
like that.
all right. You guys do the coaching in that field, so you guys are really better, more capable of answering that than I am. But I can tell you it works. Okay? That I can tell you. Okay. So one last one. Now for the, can I borrow you in the back, please? One of you guys are talking. Of you guys that are head coaches, or you coach O-line and D-line, you like this particular technique because it works for both. Now it only works though in certain scenarios, and this is going to be one of your challenges if you decide to take this stuff and embrace it and really work with it, is getting guys to figure out when to use when to use what when, okay? Because if you try to use the wrong thing at the wrong time, it will not work. All right, so as an example, this one, well, okay, let's go with the, if I'm a short, if he's got long arms and I'm low and he likes to hit me high, I may not be able to do the swim. I have to come up too high, okay? So that's when I go the rip, okay? If I'm going to go up and do a rip move and he's pushing down on me with his arm, that might not be the right move. Then I come down, or I go over the arm. Now, this one is a scenario that takes place. It could be O-line or D-line. Is when the guy's arms lock out. Okay. So lock your arms out on me. Okay. Okay. And you guys are starting to see why I have no friends whatsoever. I invite people over to my house, and this is what we do all night. Okay. So, where are you? Well, it's going to be tougher to do it to someone like him. However, it's only going to work if his arms lock out. And by the way, when you get hung there, that's when you go for the throat. Okay. Where are you too? In my art, since it's based on edged weapons, you don't want to lose, okay? You don't get benched if you lose 1 out of 10 times. You die. So what I'm doing here is I'm attacking the tendon of the tricep. Everyone feel the tendon of your tricep, please? And I'm attacking that in this fashion. It's a circular fashion. The first pressure goes in. Second pressure goes up. Certainly coming out of a 3-point stance, straighten them out, it works even better. And this is, where your sled work and all the stuff that you guys do to develop their muscles. Here's where there's a great chance for their legs to really build up. Because once I've got him up, first time I knew this would work was when I did it to Terry Glenn when he came to Cal. Terry Glenn has just been the franchise player at the Colts, okay? He was 365 when he came to Cal. I moved him back 12 yards. I figured if I could do it to this man, it works. But it's only going to work again if the arms lock out. If you also coach O-line, bull rush me with your arms straight. Same thing, pass pro, reposition, okay? If you coach defensive backs and and you get, you know, it's my opinion, may or not share it, but that the wide receivers are some of the worst blockers in the world. And I see them coming out and doing this. But it works because it keeps them between the potential tackler and the ball carrier. If it's a wide receiver, if he's blocking out of me like this and I'm a DB, I take him this way, I think the ball might go this way, I throw him that way, and I go this way. Okay? Got a few more minutes, try this with your friends.
So what's your hand plus like that?
Oh, great question. Let's try knuckles, but if you want to try your hands to grab it, you can try that too. I use knuckles. Oh yeah, you got that one. Oh yeah, you got it. Throwing them all over.
I don't know my bad man.
Okay, twist it. Make that. There you go. Oh, you engage you. Wow.
See, that's something.
That's the kid's back second time. He does that. He's going to torque on his arm and he's going to be like,
I want to buy something. Please,
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. We meet here again for another session. All right. You guys, just so you know what we'll be doing the next session is, can I borrow your place? Next session we'll be doing stuff you've never seen before. Go ahead, grab that one. We'll be doing this one. We're not going to do this one. I'll just show it to you. Real hard. And we will be doing, we're not going to do that one. We will be doing stuff more quarter man, one arm, and we will be doing, particularly if you guys are, okay, Barry, I need both of you. I take it you're not going to buy me Christmas presents this year. Okay, a good solid drive, right? Now, if I catch the guy gets that close to me, it won't work, but if I can do this just correctly, I can maybe hook him on and beat a double team. It comes like a real swim. We're going to try that, see how well it works, okay? That's in about 20 minutes or so. What time?
You have 12 minutes left.
That's a different seminar. Right off the bat is that most of the other arts they're bringing into play are hitting and striking arts, which are wonderful martial arts. They just don't translate that well to a grappling scenario. I mean, football is grappling. I mean, just about anything you see, even a tackle, if you guys have done wrestling, a tackle's a takedown. It's grappling. So my art is a grappling art. It's based on what do you do unarmed against multiple attackers with edged weapons. And what you can't do against one of those attackers is just beat him by strength, because he's got a guy behind you who cut you in two. So how do you control, what you have to do is control the man as quickly as possible. You have to deflect his forces away from your body and somehow manipulate him to go where he thinks he wants to go, and then you take him to where you want to go. This will be what we call in the Bay Area an experiential workshop. So you guys will be out there, and you're not going to be taking much notes, because I'm actually have you hands-on stuff unless you're uncomfortable. When I do break into groups, I'm going to ask that you go very slowly, that you're very, very caring of the people you train with, because they're going to be doing it to you. All right? And also, and let them know if you've got shoulder problems. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just watch and observe, okay? Most of you, and probably all of you, know more about football, X's and O's, than I do. My sport of choice was tennis, so my mother didn't let me play football. So that shows you where I'm coming from. So I overcompensated by getting into hardcore martial arts. So if I could again borrow you, just to give you some typical things. I haven't paid you yet, have I? Okay. What we're going to do here is I'm going to just have him push me over. So push me over, please. Pretty simple. You can see that's not a very good base. One leg against the guy as much. In fact, go ahead and line your feet up so you can give me maximum push, one foot in front of the other. Okay, now push, please. Now, I am no better base, but what I do have better is that his forces that were going into my body, go ahead, are now deflecting away. Nice force shield around me. So instead of, if it was a knife, I don't want to take a knife into my body. I don't care how tough I am. I lose. I want to deflect it away from me, okay? So that's the kind of stuff that we do in my art. And that's how I've taken that stuff. Actually, my teacher is a samurai. And so that's why I've taken it into it. And what I will teach you today, and this is the best thing for you guys to go home with, will be principles. I'll show you a couple techniques, but what I really have to offer you are principles. If I could borrow you again. I'll switch to the other guys, but I like big guys because it looks a little more convincing. Okay, just normal stance. Okay, principle number 1, triangulation. Okay? These are, by the way, principles